Today we're going to be looking at the Aliens action figures, brought to us by Kenner from 1992. Many years after the Aliens movie came out, but there's a whole story behind that, and we'll probably get into that as we go along here. I've got a lot of figures to go through, so we're just going to jump right into it. Here's Ellen Ripley. Yes, everyone remembers Ellen Ripley. She has her flamethrower, which was her... I guess they decided it was going to be her signature weapon after the end of Aliens. And she has this gun, which I'm not entirely sure what it's supposed to be. It does clip to her back right there. And she can hold it if you choose. One thing I find kind of interesting is that it has like a knife, like a bayonet on it. That ain't going to work against the Xenomorphs. Their blood eats through steel. So, don't know what that's all about. Maybe it's just, last resort type of thing. So, these figures, they've kind of gotten a lot of scrutiny over the years, but I find myself really enjoying them for what they are. And they are a bit odd. They have a lot of, the problems some 90s figures have. Each one of them has, their own gimmick, which was a common thing. Ripley here, oddly, has, her head and hips kind of connect, so her body just kind of moves. I guess the effect is so she's spraying aliens with her flamethrower, which, by the way, does this. There you go. That's how you know it's a flamethrower. It shoots out little cellophane particles. I will give them credit because this could have very well have just been another, spring-loaded missile launcher type of weapon. So at least they tried to do something creative with this. And there's the little switch right there. And sometimes if you get her to move correctly, it can go in and out. So that's pretty cool. The gun's not too bad, actually. It's pretty simple. These figures each came with a little sheet of stickers that you can, put their names on their shirts and decorate their weapons and all that kind of stuff. A lot of thought went into this. Now, here's the thing about this toy line. The thing to remember is this is a separate continuity from the Aliens movies. This is a completely different canon. This is its own thing. I believe it's often referred to as the Dark Horse Aliens because Dark Horse did the comics. Each character came with a little mini comic, and we'll look at some of those probably at the end of the video. And I've heard that's how people refer to it. This was supposed to be something different. There was supposed to be a cartoon attached to it, but it never happened. And I mentioned something about that on the main channel in a video where I talked about cartoons that need to be found. Recently, Toy Galaxy did a really good video on that, and they actually dug up some really hard to find information on what happened with that. And, it was supposed to be a franchise, like a completely separate franchise, or maybe, some kind of way of reinventing the Aliens franchise, which is apparently a tradition that carries on to this day. Anyway, that is Ripley. Like I said, we're not going to spend too much time on each figure, but I will go ahead and... Actually, let me move her over here, because I'm going to be needing her in a little while. See, stand up. Sometimes they have a little trouble standing up. All right. So remember how I said this is supposed to be a separate continuity from the Aliens movies? Well, here's Sergeant Apone. Now, if you watch the movie, Sergeant Apone and his group were part of the first set of Marines that went into the colony, and they promptly got owned by the Xenomorphs. Some of them survived, and we'll look at a couple of those survivors in a minute. But, in this continuity, he survived. And he's got a lot more attitude now. He's got his backwards hat. That's how you can tell this is from the 90s. And his No Bugs shirt. And he has this mechanical prosthetic on his arm, which is kind of interesting. He also has this rifle, which is nice. It's nice that they, the figures are pretty self-contained. You can put all the accessories on there. And his whole gimmick was he came with these, which again attached to his back through these holes, which is kind of nice, although these they're not as secure as the gun. These are supposed to be grenades, and whoever had this last decided to put this sticker on the grenade for some reason. So his whole thing is he has this, and they're very rubbery, so they're supposed to fling. So let's give this a quick try. Oh, nope, didn't work. Yeah, the idea is it's supposed to be like a little rubber band. Can unless he doesn't hold it very well. Oh, there we go. He did it. Yay. So yeah, that's Sergeant Apone. They actually decided to, I guess, keep a couple of the characters from the movies, and again, separate continuity, different storyline, and they gave him cool gadgets to make action figures with. All right, we'll put you there, and we shall look at Hicks. Yes, one of the few survivors of the alien incident. I kind of like this one, just the overall aesthetic of it. He's got like a nice futuristic soldier look to him. He's not like overly 90s like Apone over here. His accessories, however, are a bit odd. Well, one of them is he has this like mechanical grabby arm, and I don't know what this is for. Maybe it's just to grab one of the aliens. I don't know. But he has this bazooka, which is a spring-loaded missile launching thing. If you push down on the sight, interestingly enough, it should shoot. It should shoot. Oh, it wasn't in. Never mind. Let's see. Maybe this one's not working so good. All right, well, in theory, he's supposed to be able to shoot this. The spring in this is probably not so good. These are pretty old. Yes, 1992 was a long time ago. And interestingly enough, he has the same swivel that Ripley had. I don't know what that's all about. You don't really want to swivel when you have a bazooka. It's not a machine gun. Jeez. I like that the sight lines up pretty nicely with the face, so that's kind of a plus. Yeah, this one definitely one of my favorites out of the whole thing. I kind of like just the overall look of him, and again, holds all of his weapons nicely, so that's always good. Let's put him here with Ripley, and man, I'm gonna probably have to do jump cuts and maybe clear out some space every once in a while because we're gonna have a lot of figures to look at. So next up, we have Drake. Drake was the smart gun operator from, he was actually one of the few survivors from Apone's team, if I'm not mistaken. And he got messed up pretty bad, but he stuck around for a little while, at least. And I believe that's not too far off from how he looked. I think he did have like that bleached blonde hair, little more gritty than he was in the movie, that's for sure. Again, stickers on him. Got that nice battle stance right there. That is one of the downsides of these figures is some of them are in like permanent poses. Like you really can't move around Ripley's arms too much. You can't really do much with him other than for this particular pose. And he has this giant, ridiculous gun, which I guess makes sense. The smart gun operator would have a crazy gun like this. It's kind of exaggerated for the toy line. Again, bayonets on the end, which are completely useless against the Xenomorphs. Don't know what that was all about. The gun fits very nicely in his hand. They are that is the one good part about them in this pose, is that they usually are molded to their weapon, or their weapon is nicely molded to them. You see goes up against his hip nicely, and he's got like a little ratchet thing in there, and I suppose it's supposed to be like spraying bullets. Which you're gonna want to do that when you're facing off a giant herd of Xenomorphs. Yeah, all right figure. Again, I don't think this is one of my favorites of the line. I do have a great fondness for this series of action figures, but Drake, I don't know, something about him kind of leaves something to be desired, and I bet he doesn't stand up very well, does he? All right, lean. Oh man, that gun is holding him back real bad. All right, you go there. And finally, for the Marines, and a somewhat familiar face, and I say that loosely from the movie, here's Bishop. Yeah, not quite Lance Hendrickson. Again, some liberties were taken. He's got this like metal head here. He has this thing. I'm actually not entirely sure what the hell this is supposed to be. Some kind of weird laser, cattle prod, maybe? I don't know. I don't think that would really work against the Xenomorphs. He does have this minigun, though, which is kind of cool. Unfortunately, this figure is one of the few I have that's broken. As you can see right there, that's where the other handle was. That actually broke today, because I was trying to get the gun in his hand to have him, ready for the video. Unfortunately, with this figure, his hands are friggin' rock hard. And I'm amazed I actually got one into this one. So unfortunately, the handle broke off for this one. This one looks cool with his weapon. Unfortunately, when it comes to holding it, once you have it in his hand, you're probably going to want to not have it in his hand. Otherwise, it's just going to break. So yeah, he's got this minigun. And you turn it, and the bullets go in and out, and this thing turns. Not a bad effect. I think it works well as a toy. Again, purists of the movie are probably just going to hate all this stuff, but I think this stuff is fine the way it is. He also has kind of an action feature, sort of. He gets battle damaged. Oh no, his arms have come off. And, yeah, his, outer shell, I suppose. And, see if we can get the other one off without breaking anything else. Yeah, and that's all that's left of him, I suppose. You ever want to see what's inside a Wayland Corp android? There you go. Just a bunch of mechanical nonsense. But these go back on relatively easy, so we can have him back to normal. Yeah, he kind of reminds me a little bit of the now that I'm thinking about it, no, I was thinking of the knockoff androids from Alien Isolation, the ones that were not made by Weyland-Yutani. Yeah, he's I think maybe it's the body that does it, but I don't know. I'm just random thought I have. But yeah, there's Bishop. He's got his sunglasses on to further distance himself from the likeness of Lance Hendrickson. His stickers are coming off as well. Whoever put these stickers on did not do a very good job. Some of these are actually mine. I think that Ripley one is mine. Some of the aliens we're going to see were mine originally. And I did have all of these, but unfortunately I lost them over the years. But I have regained them, and everything is happy. So that's Bishop. Not much else to say about him. He's a big robot man. A little more obvious of a robot man than probably should be, because I believe the Weyland androids are supposed to just look human, to blend in. In fact, I didn't even know in some of the movies you don't even know if someone's an android. There you go. Okay, we'll put Drake as being stupid. All right. Oh yeah, I forgot to give him this. Whatever. Okay, so those are the Marines. Now let's take a look at the aliens, the Xenomorphs. Now, the fun thing about this set, and this is kind of a neat idea that they had, the Xenomorphs in this series kind of got into like a preserve or a zoo or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was. And they started using the animals there to breed with. And the result of that is xenomorphs that have the properties of the animals they bred with. So that's kind of a neat idea, and for the most part, the designs are pretty cool. So let's look at this first one right here. This is the bull alien. So it's on all fours. It's got horns that you can actually adjust very nicely if you so choose. Very big, thick head like that. Now, what's cool is that each of the Xenomorphs came with like a little facehugger, like a color-coded facehugger. I like to leave them on the arm so that they don't get lost. But if you can actually, put that on an action figure's face and pretend like they're getting inseminated and gonna have a chest burster. So this one has an action feature. In fact, I believe they all do. It's the head actually comes out like that, and there's a switch on there. You can, like a bull. There you go. What's interesting is that the switch does not work to launch it. You kind of have to do it yourself. It's weird. I wonder if this one's broken. I'm not entirely sure. I do like that these have some very nice detail to them. Like, look at all that. They spent a lot of time getting all this detail right, because it does, even though it is a bull alien, it still captures the overall feel that the original Xenomorphs had. That sort of what would you call it? It's that Geiger-esque sort of organic yet non-organic feel. Because it looks like it's got tubes and things all through its head. It's got the big old teeth right there. I like the shine on the teeth. They kind of blend together, but yeah, it's overall I really like it. So there's the bull alien. Again, we're gonna just try and go through these as fast as possible because there's a lot more we got to look at. Next up is I think one of the first ones I ever had. This is the gorilla alien, which doesn't look all that different from a regular xenomorph. It's just a little more squat with bigger arms, a little like shorter legs, and maybe a bigger head. Comes with a blue facehugger. Leave that on his shoulder there. Yeah, he's got big arms. This guy has a couple of features. You put the arms up, and there's little switches in the back here, and you can have him grab. And he also has a second feature. His head is actually soft rubber, and there's a hole right there. So you can fill this with water, and then you can actually spit acid, or it should be acid. It's actually water, you know. But yeah, that's a kind of a neat thing. He grabs you, and then he shoots acid right in your face. Man, Xenomorphs are kind of messed up. I don't know if you guys know this. Again, nice detail on these figures. Look at all this, like this molding is really cool. Very textured too when you run your finger around it. Again, doesn't look that different from a regular Xenomorph aside from the just the proportions. But this one's really cool. I like the nice metallic blue look to it. I'm a big fan of blue on black as a color scheme, and this one just has a nice aesthetic to me. So there is the gorilla alien. We'll put him up. Actually, let's put the aliens over here so we can see them. Now here's the one that I think is the worst of the whole set here. This one definitely looks more like a regular Xenomorph. Except for the color scheme, obviously. Definitely got the proportions correct. This one has like a gold or a bronze look to it, matching facehugger. This is the scorpion alien. Now, nothing really about this comes off to me as scorpion. I mean, he has a pointy tail, but I believe all the Xenomorphs have that. So, yeah. But other than that, it's a nice little figure. It's not one of my favorites, but it's not terrible. The reason why I say it is one of the worst ones because its action feature is it explodes. It comes apart. I guess the idea is it's been shot and it got exploded. And look, there's Xenomorph guts right there. Again, even on this, they put a little bit of detail, which I kind of like. He is also very difficult to put back together, so we're just going to push him aside and move along. One thing, actually, before I do that, one thing interesting to note is there was a line of Terminator 2 action figures roughly around the same time, and there was a T-1000 action figure. I think I have this, but he's kind of buried under a bunch of stuff right now, and it had the exact same action feature with like all the exact same parts. Except it looked like Robert Patrick, and this was like a blob of metallic metal, and yeah, but it's basically the same idea. You push a button and he flies apart, and it's roughly the same parts. You got like a shell here, but yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting thing to point out. All right, and finally the last figure, and what I think might be the best one out of the whole lot is the Queen Alien. Look, the biggest one of them all, too. Look at that tail. See, they all have pointy tails. I really don't know what the deal with the Scorpion Alien is. This one is awesome. You got the long tail. You got the detailed legs there. You got 3 sets of arms, actually. I love the little tiny baby T-Rex arms. And you can actually move them around, which I thought was, I guess, a nice little feature. You have a little squishy thing here, and if you squish it hard enough, if it works properly, that's supposed to come out. So there you go, the second mouth inside the Xenomorphs. And the other feature is there's a little button right there, and it'll actually swish its tail around, going after all the Marines. You can knock them over, or just discipline your soldiers like that. So yeah, that is the Alien Queen. Again, love the details on this. Look at that. Really nice molds of this. And there we go. And there was one other thing that came in this set, and it is the power loader. Yes, from the end of Alien, which was originally just... The power loader wasn't a weapon. It was just kind of like... they just used it to move cargo and stuff. It was basically an over-glorified forklift. But, of course, because they used it in the movie, they have to use it in the series to battle the aliens. So you have space right here. In fact, let's get Ripley in there real quick. So you put your figure. I think any figure can work with this, but Ripley is kind of the the one who used it, so it's more iconic with her. Unfortunately, she can't handle both of the controls there, but that's okay. We'll just pretend. She can't hold that one though. So you put that down, and then you have the claws. You got buttons right here, which can grab onto things. There you go. Get away from her, you bitch. There you go. You can recreate the end of Alien. And also, this used to have little guns right here, but unfortunately they're lost. But it still has this gun. Yeah, it's got these two laser guns, and it has, of course, a spring-loaded missile to take out all of your nasty xenomorph problems. There we go. So, yeah, this one's... I kind of like this. Again, I wish Ripley could hold the other one right there, but, yeah, what are you going to do? It's a fun little toy. It's really cool that they actually, made the power loader into a thing. And it's got all kinds of fun little action features. Very nice. So there's that right there. That is pretty much wave 1 of the figures. There's plenty more where that came from. In fact, let me move the bull alien out of the way so we have some space here. So yeah, there was a lot other xenomorphs that came with the second wave of this. Some of them are kind of cool. Others, not so much. Let's look at what I think is the worst one. So, this right here. This is a queen facehugger, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The facehuggers were supposed to be like the precursor to the xenomorphs. They're the ones that injected the genetic material. Why would there be a queen facehugger? It doesn't make any sense. A lot brighter colors on this one. In fact, there's going to be brighter colors on all these. This comes out. I think this is supposed to like chomp or something like that. Also, this has like a rope you can dangle it from, which is kind of cool. Unfortunately, it doesn't really go back in as well as it should. The legs move. Yeah, I don't think this one was like a necessary inclusion for the Alien franchise. Just have like all the Xenomorphs came with the little color-coded facehugger. You could have just did more of those. This was kind of unnecessary. I guess you can get like a whole figure and get them in there, but yeah. This is probably my least favorite of the entire set, so yeah. Not much else to say about it. It's the Queen facehugger. Makes no sense. So let's look at this one right here. This is the Mantas Alien. So I guess they decided to just pick whatever monster, or not monsters, animals that were kind of creepy and weird, and they just mixed them with a xenomorph. I like the little abdomen tail he's got there. That useless, with the useless little wings on it. Wow. Very clear, like almost transparent plastic on these. I kind of like the idea of it, but I'm not sure if it works so well in action figure form. He's got a very pronounced underbite there. The colors are kind of nice, though. I like these silver and green. And the arms, they don't quite work out so well with this. It seems like they tried to do the same thing they did with the gorilla alien, but the gorilla alien had more of a grip. This is just kind of, yeah, it's not great, but I don't really hate this one. I like it in concept again, so it's not all that bad. We'll put him right here. Next up, we have one of the more silly designs. This is the crab alien. They bred an alien, a xenomorph with a crab. This one again that's something we'll look at in a minute. This one again, they put a lot of crowded limbs on this one, very similar to the Mantas Alien. Although the Mantas Alien doesn't look so bad when the arms are down. This one got some bright red on them. Look at that. Oof, jeez. It actually kind of reminds me a little bit of the bug aliens from Starship Troopers a little bit. Just all the limbs and just it looking more feral than the other ones. The tail very long and comes up around with another claw on it, I guess. He does, as we messed up earlier and I showed you, he does have spring-loaded missiles that come out, I guess, or maybe they're supposed to be like faces. I really don't know. I don't know what the concept behind that is. Again, I think this one works in theory, but not really in practice. Actually, God, you know what he reminds me of even more, just by the color scheme? Who was that one guy from Masters of the Universe? Actually, I think he was specifically from She-Ra. He was that red guy, and he had like all the legs, and he had two heads, and you could like swap out body parts and stuff with him. Like I genuinely don't remember his name. I can't think about it right now, but it's just the color scheme kind of reminds me of him. I'll put up a picture if I could find it. But yeah, that's the crab alien, not one of the better ones. So we'll move him off to the side here. This one I think works a little bit better. This one is the wild boar alien. Now, if you had told me this was not a wild boar alien, I would actually really like this design. But again, nothing about this really screams wild boar. I think wild boar, tusks and a pig nose and, a fat body and everything. This one's just on all fours, and the colors are a little bit more pleasing on this one. It does look a lot more grittier than the other ones. I don't think that bright colors really work with the Xenomorphs. This one has an interesting feature. It's got like spines. Yeah, look at that. These are actually clear plastic too. You can even see right through them. Huh? I kind of like this one. Of the Wave 2s, I think this is definitely one of my favorites, just because it does look more like a traditional Xenomorph than the other ones. He's got a bigger than usual head too. It's like bigger than his body. Jeez. But again, not a bad one. I do like this one. It's easily probably my favorite of the Wave 2s. So here is the new Queen alien. This one is the Winged Queen, or the Flying Queen alien. This one is really cool too, except for maybe the little dinky arms it's got. Oh man, I guess it's an upgrade from the little tiny arms on that one. Again, nice transparent plastic on this one. This one, again, is a little bit more pleasing to look at. You got a flying action right there. You can fly it around. Also has these talons, so you can pick stuff up with. So that's a neat little feature. Yeah, again, this one's a little bit more pleasing to look at. Nice details on there. Again, love the wrinkles in the bat wings. The head, the little veins on the head, that's kind of a neat little thing they got there. I do like this one, although I think the regular Queen from the first wave is a little bit better. But this one is not too bad either. Now, we come to this alien, which I never even knew existed until I started rebuying these. This is the King alien. Yes, there is a king alien, apparently. I suppose every queen needs a king or something like that. Again, nothing really about this screams like king alien. If it was going to be a king alien, maybe make it huge or something like that. But I don't know. The biology of the Xenomorphs are already complicated enough. I didn't think we really needed a king. He does have some action features. His spines on his head. Where is was it this one? Or I forgot how to actually do this one. There it is. Okay, the switch is right there. Yeah, he does this. So he can grab things lot of grabby aliens. I kind of noticed that. Um, yeah, it looks more like if you had told me this was like a stag beetle or like one of those pinch beetle things, I would have believed that. But King Alien, I don't really know. Also, he's got like a soft thorax. I guess, does he also suck in water and shoot it out? I'm not entirely sure. I haven't had enough time to play around with this one. Of all the figures in this set, this one's one of the ones I'm least familiar with. But he's all right. I think the green is maybe a little too bright on this one. But it's an okay design. But as far as it being a king alien, yeah, I'm not really buying it too much. All right, well, you go over there, and we can have the queen stare at you like she wants something. Oh, he's off camera. There we go. All right, well, the queen is staring at the king, so there we go. All right, so now we have one more xenomorph to look at. We have this one right here. They went for a much more mechanical design with this one. He's got this grabby pincher right here, and he's got this this mace thing right here. There's also an action feature that actually shoots a missile out of its head. And, oh, wait a minute. This isn't a xenomorph at all. It's a guy. Yes, we've come to one of the more infamous figures from this line. This is Atax. He is a completely fabricated character for this line. He was not in any of the Alien movies, at least as far as I know. He is kind of like this undercover specialist. So he has this xenomorph costume, and the whole idea is that he infiltrates the hive. Yeah, a couple problems with that. If you notice, the xenomorphs don't have eyes. From what I've read, they apparently communicate through pheromones, which means that this disguise is not going to do a damn thing. He's just going to be... He's going to get, like, called out immediately from this. It's not even very convincing. Look, you can see his head under there, and you can see, his arms are out there. But, and he's got these... I love the boots, by the way. These Gene Simmons / Lady Gaga boots he's got going on. But I think I do have a fondness for this one, despite his ridiculousness. Mostly because of how ridiculous it is. But yeah, you can slide that off like that, and the boots come off, and he's a guy in an H.R. Geiger jumpsuit, I guess. Again, the absurdity of this character, I think, prevents me from being enraged and hating it just on concept alone. But yeah, there you go. Well, oops, his the head doesn't really stay on all that well, unfortunately. It's supposed to just kind of slide in, but I'm also kind of afraid to, push on it too much in the fear that. All right, you know what? The missile is stupid. We're just gonna throw that to the side. I'm afraid of messing with this too much because I might mess up either the plastic or the paint. So we'll just let him go. We're gonna put him right in the middle, and he's gonna pretend like he fits in. So there was a couple other Marines that were introduced during the second wave, I believe, and this is another one that was completely fabricated for the toy line. This guy's name is O'Malley. I don't really know much about who he is or really his weapons and stuff, but he's got like a nice camo look to him, almost more G.I. Joe-like than Space Marine. He has this, what I presume is some kind of blaster that clamps onto his arm right there. A lot of things like clamp onto arms in this set. Okay, so again, this is a guy who's made up completely for this line. I don't really know what the deal is with his weapons, but he's got like one of those. You ever see those like cartoon boxing gloves on one of these things? Yeah, I don't know what this is supposed to do. It's got like nothing on the end of it. Maybe it's supposed to, and it like attaches to his back. So, yeah, I don't know what this is. Maybe he creates a fence and the xenomorphs can't get through it. It looks like one of those like baby crib things that you would just like set up in the living room. I guess he maybe he grabs them, or like it's got like kind of spikes on the end. Maybe they're supposed to punch them, but again, they have acid blood that would melt through. As a figure itself, I don't think he's that bad. He's just kind of a weird addition to this set. I don't know what the deal is, or like what the history of this character is, or where he came from, but just a bit strange. Yeah, that's about all I have to say about that. We'll put him over here next to Atax. And I have one more figure, one more Marine, and it was actually a character who was in the movie, and I was actually shocked that they gave her an action figure. It's Vasquez. Yes, everyone loves Vasquez. I believe she was also part of, was she part of Apone's team? I don't remember. If she was definitely one of the ones that made it out. She's got this machine gun here, or whatever kind of gun this is supposed to be. Not a great likeness, unfortunately, but it was nice they at least acknowledged Vasquez. She does have one of the best weapons, though, is this big thing right here, and it's got this switch, and if you pull the switch, it's supposed to shoot them all off. One of them keeps getting stuck in there. Yeah, Vasquez was part of the line, part of the later line. She's not an easy figure to get a hold of, unfortunately. I believe some of these were they were KB Toys exclusives, and yes, they did have exclusives back then too, and it was a lot more difficult back then because we didn't have internet to tell us where to find certain figures, so sometimes it was just left a mystery. Yeah, some of these were only available through KB Toys, and I believe some of them were only available in the UK. For example, there is one other Marine in this line, and it's everyone's favorite character from the movie, Hudson. Yes, Hudson had an action figure, and he, I believe, is the rarest figure in the set, because he was a UK exclusive, and I don't know why. Why would you make Hudson, a fan favorite character from the movie, a UK exclusive? It makes no sense whatsoever. Everyone wanted a Hudson figure, and I really hope I get one day because, well, let me just say this. I've seen the artwork of him, and the expression on his face is awesome. Yeah, but I want it just because it's Hudson. Everyone loves Hudson, so I don't know what the deal with that was. So that is pretty much it for the loose Aliens and Marines figures that I have. She's having a little trouble standing up because of that big thing on her back. But wait, there's more, because Kenner also released, roughly around the same time, Predator action figures. Yes, Alien vs. Predator craze was in full effect at the time, even though we didn't get a movie until much later, and it was just kind of a meh movie. It wasn't terrible. The second one was terrible, not the first one. The first one was watchable, I think. But yeah, they had Alien vs. Predator stuff as part of the toy line. This is one that I actually had as a kid. There you see the mask comes off. They just kind of slide on the face. I like that the masks are kind of molded to the face. So that's kind of neat. They don't always stay on so well, but it's just kind of a neat idea they had. So, you don't have too many like tabs and stuff to deal with. I believe this guy is called the Battle Damage Predator or something like that. He's got a big old tusk right there, and you see there's a chunk taken out of one of them. He's got these Wolverine claws, and he has this missile launcher right there. I love how that comes up like that, and you can shoot him, and you can shoot it at the Xenomorphs. There you go, and it goes back right onto his back. That folds over very nicely. I don't know what it is about that, but I don't know. Something about that is just very satisfying to me. Ooh, missile almost came out. Again, decent detail on these. Very nice mold. You got some. Is that battle damage, or is that just? Oh no, that's just the toy. I thought that was like a scratch mark from a Xenomorph or something. Posability is not great on these, of course, but very nice. It's a very nice visual piece, and of course you have the mask. You just put that right on there. I have a couple more. I have this one right here, which is supposed to be like an invisible Predator, even though he has a shiny mask and shiny claws. This one was a mail away, and this was also one of mine when I originally had these figures. One of the few that survived, and I definitely had to keep this one because mail-aways are usually very valuable. I'm not sure if this one is, but usually they are. But it's a nice idea. They had, a clear plastic Predator. He's got green eyes too. Don't think I've ever really noticed that. This one actually does have tabs that slide into the head there, so the mask stays secure on there. Little bit yellowed over the years. I think that's just from age, but yeah, it was a cool idea, and it was a kind of a neat thing. I like the silver accessories he has, and he's got a little blaster up there as well. This one's really cool. I kind of wonder if it's worth any money, but I will find out probably in editing. So then I have one other Predator to look at. It's this one right here. Again, tabs for the mask, but molded to the face, which is kind of neat. We got a blaster right there. Put that in his arm. I like the colors on this one. This one is like a greenish yellow, and he's got a battle staff on the back. That end kind of looks like the Klingon Bailiff. And he's actually like blue on the other side. Wow, I never noticed that. Got the signature dreadlocks of the Predator. And the reason why this one is really cool is because it was part of an Alien vs. Predator 2-pack. And with that, you definitely want to get that because it's the only way to get a regular, proper Xenomorph. Yes, like a regular one from the movie, not like a hybrid thing or whatever. Yes, you just get a good old-fashioned Xenomorph with the big old head there, the black skin, and it's a Xenomorph. It's the one you really want. And it's a shame it only came with the 2-pack. They didn't just release one as a standalone thing. In this kind of battle stance too, because they were in the package, they were like this, and it was really cool. I kind of wish I had it carded because I really like that carded look it has. So that is Aliens, Predators, and Space Marines. Toy line that a lot of people don't really like and have kind of questioned over the years, but I've grown to really like it. Just on its own, I think these are great. And we have a little bit more to look at, so give me a second and I'll be right back. I gotta clear up some stuff. Alright, we're back, and I cleared out some of the clutter so we can take a look at some of the carded figures I have. I only have two, and this one is, again, of the Bull Alien. You can see the comic scroll right there. Dark Horse comic inside. They call it a comic book. It's not a comic. Yeah, I thought we'd just take a quick look at these so we can see the packaging. Artwork is pretty cool on the carded figures. I like that. Skull ramming action, very nice. So you see the Bull Alien with Facehugger. Very nicely displayed too. These are good figures to get carded because they're just very nice looking. We have on the back here. I love the setup for like all these figures. They have this whole like battle arena going on here. You got stairs, you got platforms, you got the door with the power loader coming out. I kind of miss this in action figures. A lot of action figures I noticed don't show all the rest of the figures in the set on the back for some reason. And I don't know why. I know like the modern Star Wars figures don't have the rest of the set on the back, and I like when they bothered to create a little play set for it and have a nice little action shot here. I just noticed that Ripley is on here twice. There's like regular Ripley, and then we have clone Ripley coming in from the back. Oh no, it's Alien Resurrection Ripley, the one that's like half Xenomorph or whatever. And of course you got the profile card right there, because every good action figure needs to have a profile card, and it demonstrates how the action features work right there. See what this says right here. It's kind of sideways. Dark, empty, silence. Dark, empty, silent. This is deep space, and vicious aliens are attacking 1/4 stance. Okay, I can't read this sideways. I'm sorry. Yeah, the packaging on this was very nice, I gotta say. So that's what this one looks like. And I also just happen to have a Predator still in package. This is Lava Planet Predator, which I find kind of odd because To me, this just looks like a predator as seen by another predator, because the predators have like heat vision, and that's basically what this just looks like to me. He's got this, like the heat in the middle, and he's all red, and I don't know. I feel like they should have just called it that instead of just making up some lava planet crap for this. Another really cool figure. It's another like translucent figure. Looks pretty good next to the Invisible Predator, I gotta say. Comes with blazing rocket launcher, so he's got all his weapons right there. I like the little pixelated explosion on the back. That's kind of neat. Artwork is pretty cool on this one too. I think the alien artwork is a little bit better, but that's not too bad. And we can take a look at the back here and see all of the aliens that we didn't have, that I don't have, rather. So there's the 2-pack right there, the Alien and Predator one. There was a Panther alien, and there was also a Night Cougar alien, which is basically the same thing. And then there's the silliest one of all, the Snake alien, which is just like it's like a spinal cord or something like that. Oh man, it's kind of silly. I did have this one too, but unfortunately I don't have it anymore. I did like that the mouth kind of chomps. That's kind of neat. So here's the other Predator, Cracked Tusk Predator. That's what that one's called. Night Storm Predator, Lava Planet Predator, Stalker Predator with really cool horns on there, Spiked Tail Predator, Savage Predator, and the Predator Clan Leader. That must be the one that gave what's his name the pistol at the end of Predator 2. So there's Lava Planet Predator. Do they have like backstory for Lava Planet Predator? Probably not. And you get some vehicles there. The Predator Blade Fighter, and there was also like a Queen Hive playset with like slime that dripped down. There was also a flying vehicle for the Marines, and it was really dumb. And I think this is one of the things people use against this set. It's this airplane, and it has this like glass container on the end, and you're supposed to like grab the alien with it. Yeah, I don't know why you'd want that. You know, you're taking on Xenomorphs. You want to shoot them. You don't want to do that. But again, packaging on this is pretty cool. I like it. All right, so let's look at a couple more things before we end here. In one of the lots I got these figures for, I got a couple of profile cards for Drake and Apone. So these are the little ID cards they had there. Let's see, Drake, specialty, never defeated in hand-to-hand combat. Never, ever, not even as an infant. Home planet, Detention Planet 27, Request System. Background, born in captivity. He fought his way to join the Space Marines at age 21. Quote, stay frosty, Marines, and let's rock! I could have sworn that was Vasquez's line. And what's really cool is they actually had live-action actors in the commercials for this, and they even got live-action actors for the photo shoot here. That's kind of a neat little thing. Originally, and Toy Galaxy went into this, there was screenshots of what the original cartoon, because this was supposed to be an animated series, but it got scrapped, and screenshots of alien cartoon characters showed up one day, and people thought that was from like a pilot episode or something that no one was able to find. No, it turns out that was supposed to be animated segments for the toy commercials, which is a shame, but I guess it gives us a good idea of what the series could have looked like, but that's a shame. Again, check out Toy Galaxy's video. They did a really good job on that. And here's Sergeant Apone, specialty, Field Corps Commander, home planet Earth, background, tough and gritty. He keeps the Marines in line. Right arm now biomechanical. Quote, move it, people, move it, move it. Yes, Apone, the memorable character who got messed up early on in the movie. Again, separate continuity. All right, now I have a couple of these Dark Horse comic scrolls that came with the action figures. I guess we'll take a quick look at these. Cool artwork on these. I kind of wonder if these are like available in either maybe a trade collection or perhaps available digitally or something like that. because they all tell like a linear story, I think. And I would actually really love to read the whole thing in unison. So that was the one for Drake. Here's the one for Apone. And I believe I remember this one. See, there's Ripley shooting flames everywhere. Was this the one or was it a different one? I don't remember. I believe they're going to rescue Apone in this. From the, oh, there he is right there. Maybe it's towards the beginning. I do distinctly remember, oh, this might be afterwards. Yeah, I think this is after they rescue Apone, so that's probably someone else's comic, because he's right there at the beginning. Yeah, one of the comics had Apone, like stuck to the wall, getting about to get a facehugger put on him, which I think is funny considering what happens in the movie. And I got one more, and this one is actually the Alien vs. Predator comic. So there we go. We can take a quick look at this. I believe there's no actual dialogue in this. It's just little bits of narration. And there's a really cool shot right there. Yeah, these are really cool. This is what the figures came with. And again, I would love to know if these were like collected somewhere, because I kind of want to read the whole story. But who knows? Well, that is my long-ass video about my Kenner Alien action figures. If you've stayed this long, thank you very much. I sometimes don't know who really likes to hear me ramble on, or you know, if you've lasted this long, leave a comment. I'd love to know how many people are actually watching. But yeah, that is my collection of Aliens action figures. They're pretty cool for what they are, but you know, if you are a purist for the Aliens franchise, you're probably not going to get a whole lot out of it. Some of them are probably good enough for you, but I'm sure nobody really wants to see, you know, overly tech Bishop or Apone with 90s backwards cap. I don't know. Maybe you do. Who knows? What is really cool, though, one little last bit of information is that NECA, who makes the really nice Alien figures right now, I believe they did a few action figures in the style of these figures, so that's kind of cool. It's nice to know that, you know, they recognize there are people that do like these, and they made, you know, nice little advanced figures for them. But, yeah, there you go. If you want some more advanced figures, you can get those, or you can track these down. They're pretty easy to come by, except for Hudson, for some reason. I will have Hudson one of these days. They should have made him more available. Ugh. Anyway, that is my video. Thank you very much for watching. This has been a fun October, and I got all kinds of videos. Check out my other October videos, because I always try to do something fun on this channel for October. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my other videos, and I will see you later.